The Lao PDR partnered with other 174 parties of the United Nations Convention on Climate Change in signing the Paris Agreement on Friday, a turning point in effort to reduce global warming. On Friday, April 22nd, the Lao PDR signed the historic Paris Agreement on Climate Change on Earth Day at the United Nations in New York, USA. The Lao delegation was headed by Minister of Natural Resources and Environment Mr. Sommad Pholsena. Nearly 200 nations agreed on an ambitious, durable climate plan that sends a powerful signal that all countries are committed to take real action on climate. The agreement is fair and applies to all countries. It also sends a strong market signal to businesses and the private sector that the world is moving to a clean energy economy. In addition, it includes a strong focus on mobilizing public and private climate finance to support both mitigation and adaptation in the poorest and most vulnerable countries.
Climate change.
This agreement builds trust and incentivizes ambitious action. It includes binding transparency requirements for both developed and developing countries to help ensure each country lives up to its commitments. The Paris Agreement is helping to stimulate real-world progress on low-carbon investment. On the same day that Mr. Sommad signed, 15 other parties also ratified the agreement.
The Lao PDR is a fervent advocate of the global climate change agenda.
According to Minister of Natural Resources and Environment Sommad Pholsena, Laos was a fervent advocate of the global climate change agenda. We fully recognize the challenges posed by climate change as a critical development issue. We are implementing our intended nationally determined contribution and have mainstreamed climate change and disaster risk reduction, along with the Sustainable Development Goals in our National Socioeconomic Development Plan for the years to come. So we look forward to the successful implementation of the Paris Agreement.
We recognize the challenges posed by climate change.
According to the Minister, effective implementation of the Paris Agreement requires strong commitment and political will by all parties, a win-win approach, sufficient budget, qualified human resources, and efficient coordination.
And have masterminding.
Without the successful realization of the Paris Agreement, we will not be able to reach sustainable development. Yes, we were all here for the sake of our children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, in a joint endeavor to limit the increase of global temperatures and secure a healthy environment for their future. The minister explained that the Paris Agreement within the framework of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, dealing with greenhouse gas emissions, mitigation, adaptation, and finance, was adopted at the 21st Conference of Parties of the UNFCCC, or COP29, on December 12, 2015. It will replace the Kyoto Protocol by the end of the year 2020.